Hello, this is Ian, and this is my POV. Now, in the mornings, while I'm having breakfast, I watch Talk TV to start with at 6 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock I switch over to Mike Graham. Anyway, this morning, I was watching Jeremy Kyle, and I must have dozed off about, 10 to 7, something like that. So I missed the 7 o'clock spot when I normally go over to Mike Graham. So 7:15, I'm awake. Think I had a little doze. So what I've been doing is I've been looking at the number of people that are viewing Talk TV and Mike Graham. I just find it interesting. I know nobody watches this, so I'm not panicking about me. But at 7:15 this morning, on a Monday morning, Jeremy Kyle is back. He's just been on holiday for 2 weeks. So he's got 4,500 people watching him. 4.5k. It says on the screen. So you've got 4,000. Now, I'm thinking only 4,500 people are watching him in the mornings. It's not a lot, is it? When Fox News was on terrestrial television, they stopped broadcasting because of the amount of money it costs. Because they said they only had an average of 5,000 viewers. Well, what's going to happen to Talk TV? Are they going to continue? Anyway, over to Mike Graham at 7:15. He's got 9.8. And by 8 or 9 in the morning, some mornings he's got 14,000 people watching him. Talk TV should not have got rid of him. And all his old guests that he used to have are still with him. And he's got politicians on. He's got political commentators on. All the same ones as he had when he was on Talk TV. Is Talk TV going to be able to continue with the number of viewers they're getting? I don't know the answer. I pose the question. That's one of my set sayings, isn't it? But I don't know. I just pose the question. Is Talk TV going to continue? Now, Talk TV is holding a slot in the political spectrum. You know, BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, ITV, they're woke. They're left-wing. The BBC will not report on climate change. Oh, yeah, they'll tell you it's happened, and they'll tell you that it's already agreed that there is climate change. Although it's all false and a scam. But anybody who's a skeptic is never on the BBC. I tried phoning up once, and I've never got on. I've even tried it on local radio and never got on, because I was seen as a skeptic. Because I posed the question. Now, we need right thinking. I use the word left-right so you understand. But we need conservative thinking broadcasters to offset the woke world of the BBC. They may not have a great number of people, but they can influence. And when people go out and go to work, they'll tell that, oh, I heard it on Jeremy Kyle this morning. This is happening, that's happening. And it's spread by word of mouth. I'd like it to continue. I don't like some of the presenters on Talk TV, but that's a personal thing. We've got Mark Dolan is now on. Mark Dolan, I should say, not Mike. Mark Dolan. He was on GB News. He's gone over to Talk TV. He's a bit crazy sometimes, but that's his personality. At least he's trying to be different. But he can be a serious reporter. You see, GB News, I don't know what their viewing figures are, but they've now got the live version on YouTube, and you can see, and they're not getting any more than 4,000 or 5,000 people viewing. On YouTube, that is. Don't know how many will be watching on terrestrial television. But all the free thinkers that were on GB News have been ousted. Lawrence Fox has gone. Father Kelvin's gone. Mark Dolan's gone. You know, there's a whole list of good people who I would listen to. And I think GB News has gone slightly woke. They're not as free thinking as they used to be. And I think that's after the court case. Well, it wasn't a court case, it was a fine. Ofcom found them £100,000 for somebody using their free speech to having an opinion. My argument is that Ofcom can take and fine a company, a producer of programs, but it has to go through a court. And the only court that can determine freedom of speech is the High Court under the Law Lords. So although I agree that Ofcom can take a court case, I don't think they can issue fines on their own. But what it is you need an Ofcom license to broadcast. Therefore, you're under their control. And you enter into a contract. And they use that contract to fine you. But they can't get over the fundamental principle of our Constitution. And our fundamental principle of our Constitution is free speech. And free speech could only be questioned by the law lords. So although I think Ofcom can take a court case, I don't think they can fine somebody on free speech grounds directly. That's my view. Anyway, this is Ian. Bye-bye for now.